Child, there's a lot to discuss, so let's just get into it.
Get busy in here, get busy in here. Yeah, my squad run deep. Yeah, we really in here. I swear whatever you want, you can get it in here. Comedy or the drama, it's a mixture in here. But you love it in here. Yeah, you love it in here. Got reviews up in here. We got stories in here. Hit the like, hit the sub, hit the bell. Oh yeah, 3 clicks like the shoes on Dorothy in here.
I don't know what just happened. I just hate technology. What's up, everybody? It's your boy BusyBlu, and I am back with another Real Housewives of Atlanta recap and review. Make sure that you like, you comment, and you subscribe. I don't think I'm going to be down here for a long time. As you all know, I am hosting tonight's panel, whether you like it or not panel, so I'm really excited about that. Make sure that you are in the building as we go through that. Today I'm going to be recapping and reviewing season 16, episode 6, Boots on the Ground. All right, so I thought this was a really cute episode. I liked it. I thought they helped move the story along, so I thought it was a good episode. Y'all start off in the comments. Let me know how y'all feel about the episode. What's up, grown women? Don't try me. What's up? All right, so let's get to it. So, because I'm cooking chicken at the same time, so I'm trying to get everything together. All right, so we wake up. It's the next morning. Britt calls her man, and she said that they had a good time last night, but she was really confused about how Angela was. First of all, they started it off with Shamia doing a country song, all the girls. Did y'all like that? Did y'all like Shamia doing that country song? Saying all the girls and all the boys and Porsha was arguing. Did y'all like that? Let me know if y'all like that. Did y'all like that? Anyway, Britt calls her man. She said what she didn't like about Angela was that she kept advocating for Drew to come, and it seemed a little crazy to her. And she felt like it was very similar to what happened during the peace brunch, where she kept advocating for Kenya, and it's getting a little weird. Shamia, she's talking on the phone with her husband. He done took the little girl down to the doctor because she's had an ear infection. She says that Gerald's a great dad. He's a provider. He's a great dad. So she's really lucky to have him as a partner. And this is why she wants to have a son for him. Shouldn't you have babies for you? What in the Handmaid's Tale is this? Anyway, she loves her partner so much, and she feels like Gerald deserves a son. I've never had to go through, because I'm not a parent. I guess when I had pets who got sick and I had to take them to the vet, I got emotional. But that girl was crying. Sound off to the in the comments, parents. Y'all be getting sad like that. I mean, I guess when it's y'all babies. Y'all be getting sad like that. She was crying, and the girl had an ear infection. Now, I don't know much about ear infections. Maybe they can kill you. But her baby had an ear infection, and she was just like, oh my gosh, she was crying. So does that happen to y'all? Kiki says Shamia can be a tad annoying sometimes, but I like her. But she does overdo it sometimes. I agree. Critic Chronicle said all women should have babies for themselves, in my opinion. Agreed. What's up, Candy? All right, so we're moving up from there after she got done crying. My face is dry. It is dry. That's none of y'all business. Anyway, we get to Cynthia and Angela. Cynthia basically telling Angela, girl, you was doing a little bit too much. And Angela said, well, my loyalty is to Drew and everyone if they would need my loyalty. And Cynthia said, where is Drew? She said, Drew's coming. Girl, if we hear Drew's coming one more time, we're over it. Cynthia said, look, Porsha feels the way that she feels, but it's crazy not going through me. But she said it would be crazy and I would be upset if you tried to talk to Leon and do something with Leon and you didn't reach out to me first. That's not even my ex-husband. It's just a baby daddy. You better talk to me before you talk to Leon, because I know you through them. I know them through you. I have a rule that my friends don't talk to my man. And when they do talk to my man, I let them know you don't talk to my man. Y'all not friends. He's a friend of our friend. Shout out to Josiah. He's a friend of this friendship group. You don't talk to him now. Unless y'all playing a surprise party for me. You don't talk to him. Because I don't want anybody feeling like they have some sort of relationship that they're building and it can strengthen after me and him divorce. Like, that's not cool. Leave him out of it. Anyway, I don't know how y'all feel about it. I understand what Cynthia's saying, and I understand Porsha. And we're gonna have some difficulties agreeing when it comes to the whole Porsha scene a little bit later. But she says, look, you just need to talk to me before you reach out to them. And I feel like it's a little uncomfortable. And I don't know. Drew's just doing this. I'm sorry. I can't. Angela feels like, look, I don't want anybody talking about my friend when they're not around. Girl, that's the show. That is the show. What you think you signed up for? That is the show. We sit around and we talk about y'all like we're doing right now with Drew when you're not around. That is the show. And now Angela's feeling like everybody's attacking her for no reason. And is getting out of control. And she says everybody is attacking her character, but she's standing 10 toes down. The real problem is definitely just with Porsha. What do people say? Cynthia, no one is asking you to date Leon. No one's asking to date Leon. You're the only one that wants him. That is not true. That definitely isn't true, Ravine. Hey, busy listening as I cook. No, I did not like the song. Miss Gigi said, hey, listening to you while I cook. I did not like the song. It was dead on arrival. I'm so over Brit. Yep, the ladies, watch your husband around peach juice. Okay. Candy says she agrees. I'm assuming she agrees with me. Ravine said, busy, you cracked me up when you warned about the disagreements. Because I want y'all to know that we're not going to be friends after this. Okay. So then Drew shows up. Do y'all like her new confessional? Babe, did you get a picture of her confessional? He probably in his meeting now. I didn't like Drew's new confessional. It just didn't flow well to me. I don't get it. But she shows up. Everybody seems a little excited to see her. Cynthia says, like, we're in groups. We're going to be doing a wine tasting, and a couple of them are going to be learning how to mix drinks. Drew says she almost didn't come, but her and Porsha have been friends for years, so hopefully they can resolve their issues. She goes upstairs. She sees Angela. Angela said, girl, your room over there. Child, Drew opened up that bunk bed room, and she said, wow, this how you treat me? Angela said, look, we ain't going to be in our rooms anyway, so you stay in the child's place. Stay in the child's place because we're not even going to be in these rooms anyway. She said, have you spoken to Porsha? And she said, no, she said, have you spoken to Porsha? Because people been on my back. And she said, what are you talking about? She said, I had to go to war for you yesterday. I have battle scars and battle wounds. It was just a lot. How about Drew tells her, the girl who's been defending her, asked her to come on this trip and been defending her this whole time? How about Porsha tells her, this is your fault. You brought this on yourself. Angela, this is who you're defending. A girl who looks at you and says, girl, this is your own fault. You defending me. You got battle scars for me. Bitch, you did this by yourself. I had nothing to do with your poor decisions. That's what Drew said to Angela. But you defended her. You want her to come on the trip. Oh, okay. Okay. So after that, Angela says that would she if she had a chance to do it all over again, would she? She said she sure would. Okay. I don't get it. Everyone starts getting ready to go for the outing. Porsha and Shamia are getting along and they're talking in the room. Then they show a flash forward, a side piece of where Cynthia calls. Does she call her or text her? She was like, hey, Drew wants to know if she can go to the wine tasting or the whiskey tasting or the what was it called? The bartending class. And she said Drew can go wherever she want to go. And Drew said she wanted to do the whiskey tasting. I don't get, because I didn't hear Porsha say anything, so maybe it was just a text. Either way, Porsha comes downstairs. She hugs Drew. She says, look, She's in a better headspace. She ain't got time to deal with the mess that Drew got going on. They come in, they get in the truck, they start to go. Porsha says she don't got no time for drama. She's just here for a good time and some drinks. Okay, let's get lit and tipsy. From there, we start heading out. Everybody's chatting. Shamia starts crying. And she said that she was married. So they did a lot of flashback from Kenya Moore's impact. They did a lot of flashbacks to when Kenya Moore did that PSA around domestic abuse. And she said that she talked about how she was in an abusive relationship in 2018 for a year. And she spoke about it during Kenya's thing. She said that he was abusive to her, and then the lady that she used to know but doesn't know anymore, they weren't friends anymore, reached out to her to reconnect, and it just brought up some old feelings. Now, I watched the after show, and during the after show, Shamia said that it was somebody that she thought was gonna have her side, but she didn't, and she decided to play the same game that Shamia played and said she lost, and that girl lost as well. And she called Shamia back to say, hey, girl, you remember those things that you said about him beating your ass? He did the same thing to me. So I apologize for not listening to you. Okay? So she's talking about the story. She says that he was successful, he was wealthy, and on their 1-year anniversary, they was outside of a hotel. And he knocked her so hard that she fell out of her first pair of red bottoms. And she said she was so embarrassed. She felt like everybody was staring at her on the balcony. And every time she was talking to people about it, they didn't believe her. So now she was tearing up or emotional because of that conversation that she just had. Shamia said, let's get this off of me and my tears. Cynthia, how's your mother? Did she get beat in her relationship? My whole thing is, why you got to turn it on me? You know what I'm saying? She said, no, it's okay. I don't want to have to. Let's not talk about this. Cynthia, what about your mom? Did she get beat up? First of all, that's not my story to tell. Secondly, Cynthia says, look, the strength that my mother had to deal with all of this was amazing, and she sacrificed a lot to get here. So she's so proud of Shamia for where she's gone, and being happy and bubbly in the group. Then from there, we get to the outings. First of all, let me tell you something real quick. I love the film Coyote Ugly with Piper Pablo, and Tyra Banks. Leanne Rhymes. I love Coyote Ugly. Can't fight the moonlight, no, you can't fight it. It's gonna get to your heart. I love that movie so much. I have the DVD of it, and then I have the DVD of the limited edition background watch while they watch, where we watched Piper Pablo, and then I can't remember who our other main character was, watch the movie and then give us inside tea. I don't know what was going on through my mind, but I didn't realize that Leanne Rhymes sung every song throughout the movie. Piper Pablo can't sing. She can't sing. So I don't know, but I didn't know her like that. She can't sing. So Leanne Rhymes actually did all the voiceovers and songs for the entire movie. So even when that her guitar and was playing in the apartment, that was Leanne Rhymes. Isn't that iconic? Tyra was the token black. To be honest, that song was about, what's up, Trey? Nice to see you, Trey. So then we get to Coyote Ugly. They having good vibes. They take a chance to she said, let's show us how you sucky. So they put their lips around shot glasses. And they were regular shots. Like, they were even shooters. So how can you tell if somebody can sucky like that from a little shooter? A little shot glass. If you had a shooter, then you could really, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, they all did it. And so they're just learning how to bartend. I have my bartending license. So then they said, what's going on tonight? Porsha said, look, we just gonna chill for the night, girl. We had too much stuff going on. We drunk, they drunk, hopefully. Let's just chill, have dinner. She hates that all of her friends, when they were out at dinner, were talking about Drew or bringing up Drew because they know that we're friends. So they were questioning or wondering where Drew is. She also is upset with Angela. Why would you bring somebody else to the party of a host that didn't want them to be there? That's sad. And if you can't go to Bella Noche's, where the hell can you go? You get what I'm saying? And she just was really upset about that. And then Shamia, girl, I don't know what was going on with you, but Shamia started to tell a story because I feel like she wanted to have some input, but the story was all wrong. So this is what Shamia said. Shamia said that Angela told her, honestly, her and Angela rode together to the peace brunch. And she feels like Drew was talking about her to Angela. And she feels like Drew was talking about Angela to Kelly. And she needs to figure out what is going on. We did a flashback, and what actually happened was Angela said, I heard that Kelly was throwing shade at me. But she doesn't care about what Kelly was saying. She cares more about what her friend Drew was responding and saying. Yo, where's your phone? What Drew was caring and responding and saying. Anyway, moving up from there, the story was wrong. Porsha said this is a scheme that Ty set up to come to us with the BS. Porsha feels like Angela is trying to set up Drew in the worst ways. That's what she said. So then we get to the whiskey tasting. Child, they was drinking right out of the barrels. These were classy hoes. Okay. And then Drew, she says, you know what? How about I bring her a bottle with our picture on it? I didn't understand where she was going with that. But Cynthia was like, that's a good idea because, you know, she has like that code. Maybe it'll open it up. They said, Drew, we missed you last night, but, you know, Angela held it down. Cynthia said, yeah, it got really intense. She got beat up a lot. And Cynthia said she feels like Porsha was really hurt because they used to be really good friends. And Angela was the only one trying to be a good friend and getting them together, even though it was out Porsha's permission. Britt said, Angela, you playing the victim. I said, girl, just like Drew can't try to hold somebody accountable on the truth, you can't hold nobody accountable of being a victim. Anyway, Angela said, well, what do you mean? Angela is the perfect housewife. She just is. Because what I am starting to realize is that Britt does not have control over her emotions. Like, I'm supporting you, and I'm slowly backing into the bushes like Homer Simpson. Because you got to be able to control your feelings. Like, I'm on your side with regards to your feelings. But the way you act up about them is where the problem is. And what I love about Angela is that she has issues with you, but she keep it cute and grown lady like. You know, she's always like, well, what do you mean by that? And what's going on? Where Britt is like, read the month. Are you not listening to me? She stands up and it's just like, sis, calm down. Calm down. It ain't that serious. We filming a television show. Do you see this boom? Girl, calm down. Anyway, Angela, she said, well, what do you mean about this? And then Britt said, you did all of this and you act like you don't understand. You try to act aloof after you play puppet master. And Angela says that it wasn't any of that. No. And then Britt says, I felt like this is similar to what happened at the brunch. And I felt like you didn't have any empathy for me when you got to the brunch. Angela felt like it's not that I didn't have empathy for you. It seemed like you came in feeling entitled. So I just didn't get what was going on. And Britt said, you all weren't supportive at all. So I understand Britt's feelings. Y'all already talked to that girl who put my face on a poster board with a dingling by it. Y'all didn't call me. Y'all didn't say anything to me. And then y'all sat down and being like, well, you shouldn't have talked about pew-pews. Girl, this girl had a dingling. Are y'all serious? Did I shoot her? No. Anyway, I'm just from Britt's perspective. And then she said, y'all just weren't supportive. Drew said us showing up was the support. Let me tell you something. You just coming to my party does not mean you like me. It doesn't. And I was watching, I hate to do this to Scotty by Nature TV, but I was watching Scotty's video today, and he was like, they have shown empathy towards you, because when Kenya put out the poster board, they all left. I could think something is disgusting and distasteful and still not give a about Britt Edie. Girl, empathy towards someone and my feelings towards a situation are two totally different things, girl. And you showing up to my peace brunch does not mean that you care. You could be trying to get information so you can go back to your master, somebody who's telling you where to drink. Little Miss Introvert said it was. Okay, so tell us a little bit more. Tell us a little bit more of how, if you're talking about the situation, how Drew's just showing up means that she was showing empathy. You don't have to care about me to come. People do it all the time. And me leaving the spot after she pulled out penises does not mean that I care about Britt Edie. I just don't want to be in a room with anything that is this distasteful. It's not my jam. Girl, don't want to see nobody dingling, sucking dingling. Let me leave out of here. And I don't care who it is. Anyway, Drew kept defending Kenya. She said, well, it was a cause and effect or whatever. My whole thing is this. Drew can see all of the situations that Britt caused and why she should be doing anything. But when it comes to her and Porsha, she's just so oblivious. I don't get why she would be upset. You got Cynthia telling her that this is a problem. Porsha telling her that this is a problem. We know that Dennis and her talked about that. Those are issues that I'm just not going to deal with. So there's no cause and effect for you, Drew. I love how she can call everybody else out, but she's not able to see what her problem is and how she's acting. But yeah, let's tear down Britt. Anyway, Cynthia said, you cannot tell Britt how to react or not react. How about we plaster photos of y'all sucking ding-a-ling on a poster board? Okay? And then tell me how you fit in. How about we show a picture of you with your old nose, Angela? How you gonna feel about that? And your old face, Drew. How you gonna feel about that? How you gonna feel about that? How about we show photos of you eating the cat when you were dating that lesbian? How you gonna feel about that? That's not cool in front of a room full of strangers. Somebody said, are you a Ralph fan, Busy? No, I am not. He looks good, but I'm not a fan. Definitely not a fan. I have higher morals than that, girl. So Cynthia said, you can't tell her how to react. Now, this is where I say, Britt, shut up. Like, Cynthia got this. But no, she don't know. How would you feel? I was so embarrassed. Girl, we get let Cynthia do it. Like, let her cake for you. And you shut up. Sometimes you gotta know when to hold them and to fold them. You need to shut up. She came at me. She came at my personality. She came at everything that I built. How would you feel? Girl, shut up. Just shut up. Anyway, Angela said, look, some mistakes were created, and Drew said that we were just missing our friend and trying to support our friend. And sorry it didn't come across that way. Angela feels like, well, look, I thought we were in a war with words. So I didn't think about the whole humiliation aspect of what happened to you. Cynthia said, look, at the end of the day, I feel like we can give her grace and a little bit of empathy and still support Kenya. Okay. I've watched several YouTubers review since RHOA started. Very few hold Drew to any standards at all. Two even said they don't care what comes out in Drew's unsealed documents. I feel like she was over there terrorizing people too. Ravine said, "Good, just asking." No, I'm not a Ralph Stan. I would like to see him without clothing, but I'm not a fan. Does that make sense? I was watching the Kendra G video, and this guy's morals were all off, horrible. But I would like to see him without clothes on. Does that make sense? Anyway, sinus infection doesn't know when to be quiet. Not sinus infection. I feel like I have one. Anyway, after that, we all start. She said it does make sense. Okay. You know, you don't have to agree with them. She's like, I would like to see you without clothes on. You know what I'm saying? So after that, we head home. Everybody's in the van talking. Cynthia is drunk boots. Okay. She had all the whiskey that was in all the barrels. Okay. I loved it. They all get home. They said they're about to take some naps. Now we're getting to dinner. Okay. Porsha was talking to Dennis and PJ. Is it just me or what? Did they change it to not say Dennis and just say ex-fiance? Because that's what it said at the bottom of the thing. It said ex-fiance. I don't know if it always showed up like that or if they started it, but I thought that was weird. The cowboy in the so then everybody's coming downstairs getting ready for dinner or whatever. I wrote down here that the cowboy in the red, he was a little cutie. So much so that Cynthia almost couldn't take her hands off of him. He said, well, do you need anything else? She said, I think I may be fine for now. He was a little cutie, y'all. So then everybody comes downstairs. The ladies come in. Shamia, you know, she came walking around. Shamia is a lot of fun. I love her goofiness. Everybody had their breasts. I was gonna say, Shamia said, I don't know who to milk first. Okay. Porsha comes downstairs, not in the mood. Let me say this. I'm gonna give it to Porsha. She know how to give you two and look good. As much as she irritated me during this scene, that was a bad bitch right there. That was a bad bitch right there. As much as she annoyed me, especially during the food, that was a bad bitch right there. That was the bad bitch. The hair was laid, okay? Blowing in the wind, okay? Can you ever hear a wolf cry to the blue corn moon? She looked like Pocahontas. Okay, there was, yeah. Hey, Sakina, we're going to have to hold 10 toes down today. Yeah, the whole 10 toes down. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to Simply Sakina if you haven't already. Boss babe. Okay? Y'all give me a second. Let me go make sure my chicken didn't burn up. This real ghetto. I actually gained another viewer. That's crazy. At least make a thumbnail. Shut up, Trey. Okay, so moving up from there. Porsha comes down, not in the mood. Okay, very passive aggressive, like, hey, oh hi. Okay. What we hear from her is that Porsha, after she got off the phone with PJ, she got another call from somebody else that told her that Dennis had been filming with Drew. And this is where I'm understanding her a lot more. She didn't give Drew anything, to be honest. She didn't give her anything. Her problem is with her baby daddy. I told you not to do this. We talked about this. I told you there's going to be some consequences if you did do so. Now, this girl is trifling already and dirty. So it ain't like I'm, itching to get to her. But now I'm more upset because she's still doing this sneaky stuff behind my back. And I told you not to even film with her. Wait till I get back to Atlanta. Wait till I get back to Atlanta because I told you not to even film with this girl. And she's still doing this sneaky stuff that I told her is inappropriate. Wait till I get back to Atlanta. I understood her frustration. Now, the problem is, I think people are looking at it as you got a problem with Drew and this is good. Her problem is Drew is a problem. She definitely is a problem, but she's just a part of the problem that she's having with her baby daddy. So they go outside. I don't know about y'all, but Blake seemed like so much fun. I want to hang out with Blake. They go out to do line dancing, and Blake comes around. He said, well, howdy, y'all. I liked it, and I liked the line dancing. Britt Edie couldn't dance. Angela couldn't dance. And Kelly was cosplaying as a dancer. She said, okay, to the left. Girl, you don't know what the steps are, and it's very clear, okay? After that, it's time for dinner. I don't care what anybody say. Porsha was serving. She was serving. So they all sit down around the table. Kelly says, Porsha, what's wrong? Like, girl, you're not being yourself. And she's like, I'm just not in the best headspace. They said, how was the whiskey tasting? Angela, how was the whiskey tasting? And Britt was like, oh, we came to a better common ground. Angela, do you want to say what happened? Little Miss Introvert said Porsha needs a storyline. She got it. Needs, girl. She has it. It may not be the best, and it may be constructed, but she don't need one. She has it. It's created. It's here. What did Cynthia say? Girl, stop with the storyline stuff. Apollo was your storyline, and now he's gone. Okay. Anyway, Angela says, well, what we discussed is actually I don't understand. They said that people said I was being a victim, and I don't understand why. And Shamia said, well, maybe it's because sometimes they feel like you gaslight people, and that's why Porsha called you Victimina, which unoriginal, Porsha, unoriginal, and it actually rhymes with your friend Shamina's name and has nothing to do with Angela. Victimala, it would have been better. Victimala. So she says, well, how am I gaslighting? Child, Porsha says, I don't remember. And you know what was cunty to me is that she was eating her salad while she was doing it with her hand up. Huh? I can't recall. I don't remember. As much as I don't like Porsha most days, she served me a plate and I ate it. I left no crumbs. I left no crumbs. Because she didn't overdo. She didn't speak loud. She ain't cussed somebody else. She didn't have to stand up. She sat there, ate her kale spinach salad, and had the girls in their feelings. That's what I like to see on the Real Housewives of whatever city. Do you get what I'm saying? Petty or not. Petty or not. Now, y'all may see me, pull this back if it was somebody I like. But petty or not, she didn't raise her voice. She didn't stand up. She didn't yell at anybody. She didn't cuss anybody out. She didn't call anybody outside of their name. She sat there, she ate her salad very delicately. And she had the girls in their feelings and in a tizzy. And she just ate her salad. I say eat, mama, eat. I said eat, mama. So, hold on really quickly. All right, going up from there. Yes, Porsha played. She gave the girls the blues, and all she did was sit down and eat her salad. All she did was sit down, eat her salad. She didn't even do nothing, and she had the girls in their feelings. Okay, petty or not, here I come. You can hide. So after that, Britt said you also to Angela, like you also wanted Drew to come, even though her friend, like, even though she didn't want her invited. Angela said, well, she never said that she didn't want her invited. On the call, she said that everyone on the call was invited. Angela said that, well, she didn't say that Drew wasn't invited. Maybe Drew missed the call. Angela will play plausible deniability with y'all hoes. Angela will play some plausible deniability with y'all hoes. She said that Porsha did not say that Drew was invited. And how was I supposed to know if Drew missed the call? Maybe she missed the call. And that's why I invited her, because she possibly missed the call. She will play plausible deniability on your ass. And then Kelly was like, well, Drew, did you miss the call? No. Were you invited to the call? No. God, you weren't invited and you didn't miss it. Angela says she's frustrated because she feels like I'm the only one who's being held accountable. When a lot of y'all hoes got stuff that's going on and y'all need to be held accountable. Kelly, didn't you ask a question first? Why she sleep with that lady husband? And Kelly was like, oh, no, we can't switch that. This is different things. She was like, no, accountability is accountability. This is where I agree with Angela and where I feel like a lot of the content creators don't get it right. And I had a call with House of Aaron. Y'all go follow House of Aaron last week because I was frustrated when people be I'm not gonna bring that up. Either way, accountability is accountability, no matter how you look at it. Why I gotta answer the questions and you don't have to answer the questions? And this doesn't matter if I'm a fan fave or not. Hold the standard. And I was with Angela, I was like, girl, no, the whole world want to know. And accountability is accountability. And while y'all up on my back, we want to know why you was laying on your back with that lady husband. You gonna answer that question for us? See, this is something I think we should move on. Porsha, I think we're gonna move on from this question. Porsha, you want to answer this or not? Porsha said Angela could kiss my ass. And Angela was like, really? No, she said the world can kiss your ass. Porsha said, you first. And Angela said, really? Is that how you feel? She said, that's how I feel. Had the girl shaking in the boots, okay? And then she says, look, she's going through a lot right now with the men in her life, and these women are not going to sit here and pile on everything that was that's bothering her. She's going to keep moving. Sorry, I'm missing up notes. After that, Drew, she decides to talk. Well, let's address the elephant in the room. I know I wasn't invited necessarily by you, but I want to ask some questions. Are you okay with me asking questions? Are you okay with me being here? Porsha said, you straight. Still eating her salad. Being healthy shade. You know what I'm saying? You straight. She said, well, I didn't want to come empty-handed, so I brought a bottle for you, and that's going to be your gift. But now I'm going to go. People are like, wait, what's going on? Why you got to leave? She said, well, she just gave me an answer that was nice, nasty, so I'm just going to leave. Now, Cynthia, who are you, Angela? Cynthia says, well, I would like for you to stay. Okay? No, she's not saying that you need to leave. She's not doing anything. Drew says, look, I'm going to leave because I don't like the energy and I also wasn't invited. Child, Porsha couldn't keep eating that salad more than, girl. And take that fucking whiskey with you that you brought from me. I don't want that damn. And take that damn whiskey that you brought from me. Girl, get out of here. Porsha says, look, I'm not a mean girl and I haven't been mean all day. She didn't make anyone feel unwanted or like she didn't care. So if me just saying to you, you straight is a problem, you and your wig that made me go naked can leave. You know, all these people coming all at me, and I don't need this. You got old lady over here coming at me. I don't know what her problem is. You got her talking. I don't got time for all of this mess. Kelly said, where is the fish? Drew went upstairs because she's sad. She's like, look, I don't want my friendships to deteriorate, and I'm already going through a lot. Then we move on from there. You got Porsha and Cynthia. This is a really cute scene. Porsha is talking to Cynthia. She says, look, I'm going through a divorce. It's just a lot that's going on. And all of this stuff feels like a pile. You know, when you're going through a divorce, everything feels extra. And Cynthia was like, well, there was a friendship at one point. So what's going on? Porsha said that, what if I started doing a podcast with Leon and didn't tell you anything about it? And she was like, that would have hurt my feelings. She said, I'm not mad at her. I'm mad at Dennis because I made an agreement with him about how we are going to co-parent, not with her. So maybe she's displacing her anger, but the problem is not with her. She's going to give the problem to Dennis. Cynthia said that Porsha, at the end of the day, Porsha falls up. She doesn't fall down. She falls up. And you can't count Porsha out, honey. She always going to make it on top. Overall, it was a really cute scene. Then the party continues. Britt booty looked like Kenya booty. Take that how you will. Everybody else gets ready, gets down to the pool. I felt like Cynthia was down there when we first saw it. And Angela's going to bed. Child, the next morning you see Britt and Kelly in the bed together. And Britt was saying that Angela was upstairs recording us, you know, and like that was a little weird. And then she came downstairs saying she heard everything. So then we get Angela scene. She said she heard things that she wishes she didn't hear. She was up talking to Charles. And she heard her name, and it was Britt, Porsha, Shamia, and Kelly out in the pool. Porsha was drunk, and all of her truth came out, which I don't understand what her truth is. If the only thing she said was, "I will F Charles," I don't know what the truth is. So Angela decided she was going to record them, but she didn't get the phone placed right. You know how the elderly do. She had the phone; it was slipping and stuff, so she dropped it. And she said, you know what? I'm going to go downstairs. So she went downstairs and was like, I heard everything that y'all said. Y'all said my name and what was going on with Charles. And Porsha said, girl, I don't know anything you talk about. And she left like she always do. The producer asked Porsha, what did you say? She said she didn't say anything. Kelly said, look, we're just trying to have fun. But Porsha did say that Angela needs to start effing with her before she F her husband. And Angela said, you got to take stuff like that from Porsha very seriously because she will sleep with your man. At the end of the day, everybody's getting ready to leave now. Angela's sitting down there with her luggage. And Kelly was like, hey, good morning. Angela said, good morning, girl, but I don't want to be fake. Please don't talk to me. I don't got time for this. She said she came grown and she's going to leave grown. And that was the episode. Y'all, tell me how y'all felt about this episode. Did y'all think it was good? If I'm going to get rated, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Not so much to an 8, but it definitely was a good episode. I know a lot of people said they didn't like it. I liked it. She said, I was scared for Angela pulling up on him. She said, I heard everything that y'all said. Did she have a bonnet on? Y'all think she had on a bonnet? That being said, please put your rankings into the chat. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Outside of that, I want to thank you all for coming to this video. I really do appreciate it. Make sure that you are tuned in tonight at 8:30 p.m. where we have the Whether You Like It or Not panel. It's my first time hosting, so I'm very nervous. I'm very, very nervous, but I'm excited. Outside of that, if you all want to know more about me and everything else I've going on, you can find me on Instagram and on Twitter, BusyBlu, no space, no E. You can also find me on Twitch, where this is definitely streaming right now. You can also find me on Blue Sky in Threads. That being said, have a good night, everyone. I'm about to go get busy, and you all stay busy. Until next time.
That man 4K goes crazy.